I'll admit it, I totally ran over one of the old plastic CHOCKS the other day, and I know I needed to pick up some new ones. One of the places that I got these two that I really like that are solid rubber was at this store. And so here I am again, and I was thinking I might as well bring you guys along because there's some diamonds in the rough. There's some true gems to find at this store. Let's go inside and check it out. All right, now Harbor Freight's come a long way from the old double fold ads you used to steal out of your dad's newspapers. Also, they have stores all over the place now, and they're still, yeah. All right, I totally confess, as I was walking up to Harbor Freight, I got stopped at the front door by the manager there who basically saw me coming, I think, with the camera and wanted to know what was up. He did say that I could take, you know, small little video and photo and stuff like that, but basically didn't want me filming inside the store, like me talking or anybody else or any customers. So here we are. I've got a table laid out of some of the stuff we were going to talk about in the store. We're just going to make do with this. So I wanted to bring this video to you guys because I was just like, I had one of those moments where I was driving by the other day and it kind of went something like this. If there's anything I need there. A lot of RVers are out there trying to get started still. It's kind of an expensive time to do it with gas prices and all these kind of things right now. There are some things that you might think about purchasing that are a pretty good deal there. Just go down the list of some cool products and stuff like that. All right, number one, this is an essential. These are rubber CHOCKS. Now, there are a lot of different kinds of CHOCKS. The reason I like these CHOCKS is because they are thick, solid rubber. They will hold something like the size of Dorothy here. They don't come in pairs or anything. You buy them singly at Harbor Freight. They are pretty cheap. As always, prices are gonna vary by location. Less than $10 per CHOCK easily. All right, from almost the get-go since we've been on the road, this is something I have used, and it is the Drummond, it's the 12-volt pump that they have. It is a non-submersible water pump. This is what I use to pump any kind of water that I have in, say, like a water bladder that I pick up for Wendy or Dorothy while we were boondocking, and I would pump it from the truck bed into the RV. It just made it easier than trying to siphon it, if you guys have ever done anything like that. And this little pump here, it comes with these two little clamps for like a 12-volt system. Hook it right up, and it has worked great for 4 years. And it, as you guys can see, it has been used. Thing I never have used, fortunately, is the 8-ton bottle jack. 8 ton is equivalent to 16,000 pounds. I purchased this when we had the travel trailer because I knew this would lift the travel trailer. Now with Dorothy here, it may be a little bit under, but I keep it around just in case I ever do have to try to lift up a tire or something, or another jack, anything, or even the dually truck to change a tire or something like that. It's just handy to have. Obviously, I have stabilizer jacks on Dorothy that I can use. We used those before when we were changing the tires, you know, at discount, and you can certainly do that. You're technically not supposed to lift a toy hauler from an axle, and it's not really good of any trailer to lift it from the axle. But in the event of any kind of an emergency, or if I needed to do something, I know that I have that, and that gives me peace of mind. Going back and knowing the things that I know now, I would potentially consider the Predator generators from Harbor Freight, and this is why. They have a really decent reputation in the community. They're fairly quiet, not as quiet as some of the other ones. A lot of people like to compare them to the Honda generators, which are probably the quietest right now. The Predators are only gas, so there is some maintenance involved with oil changes and stuff like that. But for the money, they're not too bad. For the wattage that they put out, they have a range of generators that you can use, going from the smaller portable ones for something like van lifing, if you're one of those guys, to all the way up to like 9,000 watt generators if you need something for a home. So there's a nice wide range. The other thing to think about, as with Harbor Freight and all of the products that I'm mentioning, is their warranty. They are kind of known for this. And to illustrate the point, I'll segue into the next thing here. One of the other things that we bought a lot, well, at least 2 or 3 times, for the previous travel trailer that we had for Wendy, were the scissor jacks. It came with 4 stabilizing scissor jacks on each, you know, corner end of the trailer, and those are what you lower down to stabilize. Now, they're not lifting jacks, they're just to be stabilized. And if you've been following us for a while, you know that I had a tendency to beat up the rear, so to speak, on that trailer. Those jacks got dragged through the mud like, oh my gosh! Ooh, so I purchased one at Harbor Freight and I bought the warranty. Harbor Freight is, like I said, known for this. If you purchase the warranty on a product and something goes wrong with the product, no questions asked, as long as it's within the warranty period, you bring that product back to Harbor Freight and they literally will hand you a new one. I wanted to talk about this. This is called the Cargo Bar. It's a Haul Master. This thing is really neat and it doesn't look like much, but essentially it's like a tension rod on steroids because it's ratchet. I use this thing in the truck and I have been really happy with it because what happens with me is when I'm hauling water, if I just want to use the jugs instead of taking the big 60-gallon bag, if I'm just getting a little bit for a night or two or something like that, I put them up in the truck bed, and what almost always happens, no matter how I secure them, is they would fall over or they'd tilt and I'd lose some of the water. Enter this guy, which is fantastic just for going straight across. It fully extends all the way out, you know, to the full width of our bed, and I can put it kind of wherever I want to stabilize basically anything, but I use it a lot for stabilizing those water jugs. Another little handy thing to have, and you guys know this if you've been traveling for any extended period of time, even if it's just car camping, bungee cords. These things, there are so many thousands of uses for bungee cords. Harbor Freight sells them on the cheap. They come in all sorts of these different little packages that you can get. I've got some footage of some of the other ones. It's just their quality product for cheap. And that's kind of what Harbor Freight is known for when it comes to specific things, maybe not everything, but some things. And these bungee cords have lasted us for quite some time. Another thing that goes along with the bungee cords are the zip ties. It's another tool that there are 1,000 uses for securing things, whether it's wiring or tarps on the back of, you know, your bikes or whatever it may be. They sell those in packs too, fairly cheap, and it's just a nice, easy place to go to for those kind of things. Harbor Freight bills itself as a tool place, right? You can get cheap tools there. A lot of them are warranted where you can bring them back if they break, stuff like that. For us, I'm going to still buy kind of quality tools for anything that is really important, but stuff like these, which are just little adapters for a drill bit. One of the things that I've got, I was looking for it, but I don't utilize it anymore because I have these new kind of stabilizer jacks. It's an adapter that hooks right into the drill to accept a 3/4 socket that I would use to raise and lower the stabilizer jacks. Very handy. You guys can get gloves all over the place. What I like about the gloves at Harbor Freight is there is a ton of selection. In addition, they have these Hardy gloves. I love these things because when I'm changing the sewers and stuff, I used to have these really big like dishwasher gloves, but they stank on the inside. They got to be nasty, so those were time to go. I know a lot of people use like the latex glove. I certainly have access to those from the hospital, like the nitrile gloves and stuff like that. Those are handy because they're disposable. You just throw them away. But the downside is I already feel like I go through like 100 pairs of those at work, and so I'm just contributing so much trash. So I like these because they have the grip on the insides, but they're also dipped. And what that means is that they are waterproof up to the cuff. So if you ever have to go through that shower that I'm talking about, you guys have maybe seen a TikTok of ours about the brown shower. This helps at least prevent some of that or catching it before it gets all over everything, and your hands still stay hopefully dry. The Poor Man's solar setup. Harbor Freight has actually a decent amount of solar panels ranging from like 30 watts all the way up to the 100 watt systems that you can buy for pretty cheap. They do have a 100 watt complete system that comes with the panels, a solar controller, and things to put right into the battery. So all it is a setup. It's all in one box. Will vary in price like most of things. Best time to go is when they're doing holiday sales or especially around Black Friday. That's when you get stuff really crazy cheap there. I know we bought that solar setup for less than $100, so it can be done. And it is a nice little way to just add 100 watts of solar. It is a bigger kit. There are certainly smaller ones out there that are way more portable, but they're gonna cost 3 times as much. None of this stuff is sponsored whatsoever. This is just one of those videos that I was thinking about for some new people that were getting into RVing, or if you've been an RVer for a while and you do the drive-by like I did, and we're thinking, what's there that I could use, or what's there that I need, or maybe something like I didn't even know about was a thing that's super handy. All right, that wraps up the video, guys. Thanks. It's been a wonderful Real Talk Tuesday. I'm glad you guys are here. As always, give the thumbs up on the video. That helps a lot. Stay tuned. We have lots of awesome content coming your way as we adventure through Indiana and Michigan. And we might even know where we're going here pretty soon. So I know everybody always wants to know where the next contract's going to be. Stay tuned. In the meantime, we'll see you out there.